So Nintendo showed off The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild running in real time on the Nintendo Switch, on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon of all places. And within nearly 3 minutes of new gameplay they demonstrated, we noticed that the game seems to be running remarkably smooth. But noticing is one thing and confirming is another, so that's exactly what we're here to do right now. Now, I do want to stress that what we saw was extremely limited and may not be representative of the final product. Okay, so with that out of the way, our first order of business is to confirm that the frame rate is in fact as smooth as it appears to be. And to do that, we actually went frame by frame through all of the nearly 3 minutes of gameplay to see if there were any hitches or frame drops at all. And we're going to slow the video down to a third of its normal speed so you can see for yourself. So what's our verdict? Well, as far as we could tell, there were absolutely 0 frame rate drops, even during the giant explosion, which is quite impressive. Furthermore, since every frame seems to be unique and the video we're working off is 30 frames per second, that tells us that the Switch version of the game is running at a minimum of at least 30 frames per second, which isn't really unexpected, but it's good to know that it's hitting that target. And the frame rate holds steady even when Reggie switches the gameplay from the TV to the Switch itself. It still appears to run flawlessly. Again, at least during this brief segment. Which is extremely promising, especially given the rumors that the Switch will run in an underclock mode when pulled out of the dock and is used in handheld form. Okay, so this is all well and good so far. The game appears to run well. But how's it stack up to the Wii U version? Well, let's take a look. Now, the Wii U version of the game is a bit all over the map. At some points, and maybe even in general, it runs pretty well. But then you'll have these occasional random sputters, or even entire sequences where the frame rate takes a nosedive. So for the purpose of this comparison, we'll only be comparing similar scenes. But do keep in mind that it's impossible to match the scenes directly since we can only work off pre-existing footage. So let's take this scene for instance, which is in a similar location as in Jimmy Fallon's clip, with Link running through a mostly barren field. And let's go ahead and slow it down for a better look. So it actually starts off extremely smooth, running at 30 frames per second. But a few seconds later, we can see a few stutters in the frame rate with the occasional repeated frame. It's nothing major, but the hiccups are there. Here it is up against the Switch version for comparison on the right. First at normal speed, and now again at a third of the speed for a better look at it. Alright, so let's move on to the explosion scene, which we have a pretty similar take of in the Wii U version as well. Now again, in case you forgot, it ran flawlessly on the Switch. But on the Wii U, well, there's some pretty significant slowdown here. So let's slow it down for a closer look once again. Now up until the explosion, it's buttery smooth. But as soon as the barrels start to detonate, the frame rate's cut in half. Now things do improve slightly as the explosion goes on, with the frame rate rising to 2/3 of its normal speed. Yeah, it's still not great, but it's better at least. So let's do one more side-by-side comparison of the Wii U on the left and the Switch on the right. Here it is at full speed, and now again at a third of the speed. So there you have it. Based on this comparison, the frame rate definitely seems to be improved in the Switch version, with not a single drop or hiccup at all. But I do want to stress, it's too early to say whether this is representative of the final game or even the entire experience. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already to see even more on Zelda Breath of the Wild, the Switch, and other things Nintendo too. Catch you later, bye.